Hello. Today's video, we're going to be talking all about Thailand. First of all, yes, it's a beautiful country. But second of all, and probably most important of all, it's one of the only countries right now that you can get into without having to quarantine. At least right now, that could change at any moment. So I just came back from 3 months in Thailand and it was amazing. Honestly, we were going to go for 1 month. Then Omicron came along and we couldn't really go anywhere else. We were like, let's just stay here. And I'm really happy with that decision because then instead of doing just like the normal touristy, typical Thailand things, Phuket, Bangkok, Chiang Mai, we actually went out. We went out into the country. We did some hiking. We went to some real obscure places and far out. What a good time we had. It's just such an amazing country. And I truly think everyone should go there at least once, if not twice, maybe 3 times. Just spend as much time there as you can. It's a really easy country to travel around. Your money's going to go a long way. Everyone there is so friendly. So you know what? I'm just going to share the wisdom here with you. If you're thinking of going to Thailand, you've just even got a few things saved on Pinterest. You're like, I want to go there. Here are the things that you should know before you go. Let's start with a few common phrases. I reckon everywhere you go, you should at least learn how to say hello and thank you and order a beer. Actually, I never really learned how to order a beer in Thailand, so scratch that. To say hello, you say sawadee ka. If you're a boy, you say sawadee kup. And to say thank you, you say kup kun ka. Or for a boy, kup kun kup. 2 other good things to know is that moo is pork and gai is chicken. So if you're not really sure what it is, you can say moo or gai and they'll sort of be able to tell you. There's not really that much beef going on. It's mainly just pork and chicken. Another thing that we learned to be really valuable was how to say no need. So if you say may ao ka or may ao cup, probably not great pronunciation, but people got it. It means no, thank you. We don't need that. So that's good for when people come up to you hey, you want a taxi? Hey, you want to do this tour? Hey, come into my bar. May ao ka. That works pretty well. Honestly, the food in Thailand is amazing, but you really have to branch out. Don't just eat pad thai everywhere you go. Yeah, the pad thai is friggin' amazing. So is the fried rice. But there are so many other good dishes. And as soon as you start sort of eating outside of your comfort zone, that's when you're going to really have the best meals. So at first we were kind of oh, I don't really know what that is. I can't read Thai. Actually, one of the best meals we ever had was in Phuket because we watched a video of this Thai guy who went to this Thai restaurant and ordered a bunch of stuff in Thai, took a screenshot of the video and then just sort of showed it to the people at the restaurant. You could do the same thing by looking up Google reviews and seeing the photos and just sort of seeing what looks good, showing it to the waiter, and I'm sure they'll be able to help you out. The food is so inexpensive that even if you order something and you hate it, it's not oh no, I've spent $20 on this dish, I'm gonna have to eat it. Oh, and also, if you're gonna get rice, if you want a side dish of rice, in Australia, we would say, oh, can I get a curry and a boiled rice? Because that would just mean plain rice. In Thailand, that is not what that means. If you say boiled rice, you're going to get congee, a big rice soup. We made that mistake. This giant bowl of congee came out. We didn't order this. They're yeah, you want a boiled rice? And we were oh, we meant steamed rice. But it was delicious, so it was fine in the end. So just keep that in mind. If you want a side of rice, you say steamed rice. If you want congee or if you want rice porridge, get boiled rice. And honestly, you do want rice porridge. We had that for breakfast at least a few times a week. So delicious. There's something, I don't know what they put in it, probably heaps of salt and flavoring, but whatever it is, it's delicious. This sounds dumb, but it's super important. Keep toilet paper with you everywhere you go, not just when you're on a road trip or when you're hiking, but a lot of public toilets won't have toilet paper. It's just a good thing to have in your back pocket, They do have butt hoses in Thailand, which I love. At first I was kind of what? No. But now I truly just want to put one in my own house. I love a butt hose, but also have toilet paper with you at all times. It's not that hard to carry around, but it will save your life more than once. I promise you that. And speaking of, if you are a person who has a period and uses tampons, take your own with you because I don't know what it is. It's really hard to get tampons in Thailand. And when you do find them, there's only one brand and it's a shit brand that I did not like, but I was there for 3 months. So I was well, I guess I'm going to have to use these. But if you can, bring a stash from home. So the Grab app is going to become your best friend. It's kind of like Uber, but the Thai version of Uber. So you can use it to get taxis, but you can also use it to get food. And the food on Grab is so good and so cheap. Like you can get like a really good pad thai for like 50 baht, which is a couple of bucks. Normally like in Australia, I'm used to Uber Eats being like super expensive, but the Grab app, oh, it's good. And you're going to be using it a lot. Like, I mean, obviously when you're on holiday, you're not going to be wanting to like eat in all the time. But every now and then when you're like, oh, I can't be bothered to go out. It's lunchtime. I don't know what I want. I don't want to just go to 7-Eleven. More on that later. Grab will come in handy. Speaking of 7-Eleven, oh man, this place is heaven. 7-Elevens in Thailand are like nowhere else in the world, or at least nowhere that I've been. They're probably just as good in like Japan or something. There's so many different types of food and drink and groceries and skincare and makeup and amazing stuff. You could truly just spend an hour walking around 7-Eleven. Actually, last time I was in Thailand, I even made a video about all the cool stuff I found in a 7-Eleven if you want to watch it. Definitely try a Jaffle. They have like toasties, like toasted sandwiches in the fridge, and then you just take it up to the front and they toast it for you and make it warm. But also the coffee there is really good. Even if you just get a black coffee, an Americano, it's really good. Even better than maybe some of the cafes that you might go to. And their iced coffees are really good as well with all different flavors. Oh, I just love 7-Eleven. I miss it. Also, the iced coffee there's like $1.50, and now I'm back in Australia paying $6.50, and not too pleased about it, to be honest. One thing to know though, if you don't like it sweet, definitely make sure when you get a coffee, you say not sweet or just a little bit of sweet, because by default, they put heaps and heaps of sweetener into the iced coffees, which is good if you're like after a sweet vibe, but when it's 7 a.m. and you just want an iced coffee, you're like, oh my God, this has so much sugar in it. Hi, Millie. So the thing about Thais is that they're so friendly. Potentially one of the friendliest group of people I've encountered while traveling. They're just so welcoming and ready to help you. Honestly, anytime you have a question, if you get lost, even if you can't speak Thai, just go up and try and talk to someone and they will try to help you. I did not find a single rude person while I was there. You could say different things for some of the other places I've been in Asia, but oh man, Thais are just, they want to go out of their way to help you. One thing to note randomly, I don't exactly know the full history of this, but I did hear from quite a few people, don't mention the king. It can be a really touchy subject. The previous king was awesome, and apparently the current king they have now, they don't love that much, but it's not good to sort of talk about it in public. In terms of packing, I would say bring a sarong, because for multiple reasons. One, if you want to like lie out on the beach, it's nice to have something to lie on that isn't a towel. And two, if you're going to go to any sort of temple, you need to have your shoulders covered and you need to have your knees covered. If you're a woman, I'm not quite sure what it is for men, but I think it's still polite to cover everything up. So if you just have like a little sarong on your bag that you can carry around with you and cover up when need be, it comes in handy. One time we went on a hike and the hike ended at a temple, but we didn't realize. So we kind of had to like shuffle through this temple being like, sorry, because we didn't have anything to cover up with. So it would have been good to have the sarong in my bag. So it's a pretty common greeting in Thailand. Like here we're like, hi, but it's pretty common to bow when you say either like hello or thank you. It doesn't have to be like a full regal bow or anything, but just sort of like a thank you, hello, that kind of thing. Normally I'll just be like kap kun ka sort of thing when I'm saying thank you when I like leave a shop or go into a shop. When you're at a restaurant, it took us a while to sort of get used to this. Your food doesn't all come out at once. It comes out as soon as it's ready, which is good because then it's always warm, but it's not good if you want to get like an aesthetic photo of all your meals together on the table. You could order a green curry and a fried rice and they'll come out 15 minutes apart, you know? So you've just kind of got to roll with it and live with it and be happy and enjoy the food. All right, kind of touched on this before, but really when you're there, I highly recommend, if you've got the time, to rent a car and get out of the city. Sure, the cities are great. All the touristy places are awesome. But as soon as you get out of the city, it's just like a whole nother world. We saw some amazing landscapes. We got to do some incredible things, eat some amazing food, go to places that we never thought we would have gone just because we had a car and we had the freedom to sort of go around and do what we want. Highly recommend that. I've made a bunch of different videos about the different hikes and the different road trips that we did if you want any inspiration. When it comes to PowerPoints, I don't really know why, but Thailand has two different types of PowerPoints. Or what do you call them if you're not Australian? We call them PowerPoints, like power things in the wall, sockets. Thailand has two different types of like wall sockets / PowerPoints. One's like pins and one's like thingies like this. I don't know. I'll put photos here so you know what I mean. It's good to have adapters for both. I think the pins are less common. I think we found those in more older hotels and older places that we were staying, but it's good to have both because then you're not going to be caught out. Also, randomly, one time, like fully 2.5 months into our trip, I realized that Australian power plugs fit into most of the wall units there. That was interesting to find out because I've been lugging around this huge adapter everywhere I went. But yeah, be prepared in terms of adapters because there's 2 different kinds and you don't want to be caught out. Definitely get a SIM card. So the first few weeks we were there, I was like, oh, we don't really need a SIM card. I'll just like use my phone when I've got Wi-Fi, etc. And then we got a SIM card and it cost, I think, 200 baht for 1 month, which was like $10, and that's got unlimited data. I don't know about calls and texts because I was not calling and texting anyone, but having the data was so good because it means you can like look up maps, look up restaurant reviews, obviously like scroll through Instagram, check your emails, do whatever else you need to do. And it was so inexpensive. All you have to do is go into a 7-Eleven and ask for the tourist SIM and make sure you have your passport when you go in to do it because they need like identification or something. But so worth getting. So yeah, I feel like that's everything in terms of Thailand, everything that we learned, everything we did wrong, everything we did right. I reckon it's always good to go into a new country with a little bit of knowledge, kind of knowing what you're getting yourself into. And I'll definitely say that Thailand is the best place to be right now. The weather's amazing, the beaches are amazing, the food's amazing, there's no quarantine. It's actually a pretty like clean and safe place to be as well because it's heaps of mask mandates still. Definitely, if you're not already considering a trip to Thailand, I don't know why you're watching this video all the way to the end, but now you're informed and now you know what to do. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have an amazing trip to Thailand if/when that happens. And if you have any more tips, put them in the comments below so we can all share the knowledge. All right, have a lovely day. Bye.